We'll start with a comment from a subscriber called Malik Dvitrich. Hello. He says, why don't you do sports cars? All right then. Well, this is the Fiat 124 Spider, the most talked about sports car possibly for years. Auto Express here in the UK already say that this is one of the best sports cars you can buy. Jeremy Clarkson says this handles like an elephant on a unicycle. And Matt Pryor from Autocar, who really also knows about cars, says this is a car you should appreciate for what it is rather than for what it isn't. So let's find out which one of them is the most accurate.
Ah, yes, right, okay, a challenge, good. Right, stats first then, 140 horsepower, 1.4 petrol engine, and it weighs 1,000 kilos odd, which is 700 less than most elephants, so that's Jeremy out. Oh, and it has a turbo.
And it's that turbo which adds quite a lot of the charm to this car over and above the MX5 because it doesn't have one. There's that, and then add that to the Fiat multi-air technology in the engine, and that's why you can get power and economy from such a small unit.
And although it sounds a little bit like a cliche, you actually do. 37 miles to the gallon is what I average with the roof down. At one point that would have been almost impossible. With the roof up though, I did find something I didn't like.
That is true. I'm not a major fan of the 124 with the roof up because it sounds like I've left a window open and it's a bit claustrophobic. Not only that, but when you're going along at night and everyone's lights are in your mirrors, it can be quite unsettling.
And so is doing other journalistic tests, like this one, which you're seeing now, which I'm doing for you. It's the water ingress test. It was a success. Let's get back to the car. This isn't a first car, it is a second car, mainly bought for cash. In fact, locally, my local dealer sold one to a woman called Beryl, who's 65.
Yes, and Beryl isn't going to worry about the same things that I do, such as the navigation, which is good, but it is exactly the same as the one you get in all of the Mazdas. I'd like to feel a bit more Fiat-y. There's also no storage space in the doors, there's no glove compartment, and, well, there's a little thing there for maybe a key, and there's one behind you. But that's it. There's no cup holders either. You have to pay £160 for those, and then they go behind you. And then, well, I don't know. It's the manual roof. Well, it's manual. I mean, look. Put your shoulder out.
This is the Lusso Plus version. It's £25,000, but you don't need to spend that much. And what you get is a rear-wheel drive, front-engined sports car where the roof comes off. What you don't get is Apple CarPlay, but that's another story. But it is very good to drive.
Now, provided you're not going to take this car on a track, there really isn't anything wrong with the way this car handles. Sure, I would agree it's not as absolutely polished as an MX5, but this car does have so much character. You look forward to every undulation in the road, every corner is an event, roundabouts become hilarious fun. There is one thing, and that is the gearbox, which to me is just a little bit not cheap, but if you get used to it, perhaps that's the point. Perhaps this is supposed to be like an old school, proper roadster, like a TVR even.
Unlike the TVR though, Fiat are vigorously working on their reliability to ensure it matches the Japanese, so that's good. You also get audible speed camera warnings to make sure you don't end up in court. But don't switch off the traction control, or you'll end up in a bush. Then there's the Rotax, that's £145, the starting price is 21 grand, and an X-Demo is about 17. So good news if you're considering a used one.
Ah, almost forgot. Golf clubs. Well, they will go here and not in the boot because there isn't enough room, although there is 140 litres, which is okay, and it's 10 more than the Mazda MX5, so if it's just 2 overnight bags and you're off for the weekend, perfect. Here's an interesting thing though, which I noticed. The passenger seems to have less legroom than the driver for some reason, because my knees seem to be up higher than the driver's.
With that, I only had one more thing to test. So it was back out onto the road to find out if this was as good as its brother, the MX5. I'd arranged to meet a male friend late afternoon on a secluded country spot. And when we got together, it was time to start the test. 2 cars from the same place, head to head. And the result? Well, that's another video.